You have an idea. It doesn't matter what the idea is. It could be a negative idea. It could be anything, but you manifested something through the creative process, and that's very special. It's difficult to maintain a level of inspiration on a constant basis, but only the special really do. My artist name is Saber, based in Southern California. I've been painting 22 years. The name Saber isn't an identity as far as me as a person, but actually like the greatest letter combination ever. So I was very fortunate to catch on to the name early, and later on it became an identity. I knew that art was what I wanted, and graffiti art was the venue that I chose. A lot of people don't quite understand the need for it, but everybody in the world has a signature. And that signature represents you, your DNA, your genetics, your personality. Now picture diving headfirst into your signature and making it your #1 mission. And obviously typography is held at a high level of design. We are typographers, we're master typographers. We just have our own way of doing it. I was going to the deepest, darkest places of the city. This is the butthole of the city. And I remember I was willing to risk my life and freedom to do something. And I did many times. And that's where the dark side comes in, because you're willing to do things that go against nature, I guess you could say. So I'm willing to go hurt myself to write my name on something. I mean, at the end of the day, it's pretty ridiculous when you think about it, but something made me go do it. And my buddy Fate was the first one to do a full top to bottom piece, and we were kind of the first to use house paint. So I just took it from there, and it just steamrolled, and it took me a year to complete it, all at night. About 126 gallons of bucket paint was used. And it just so happened to be the biggest piece in the world, illegal graffiti piece ever painted, wild style. And I remember getting shots from Google Earth, so you could see it from Google Earth, and then, you know, it became kind of the home plate for graffiti as like the #1 piece to beat. And that was in 1997. 12 years later, the city spent what they say $3.4 million removing it and other graffiti with the Army Corps of Engineers. You could chip off the paint, beige paint right now, and some of our pieces will come up underneath. And that's kind of the ideas behind most of my pieces now, is really observing those textures. It's all problem solving. So you want a certain look, you want a certain texture, and it's about figuring out how to do that. And that takes years and years to stumble into those processes. So, you know, my paintings represent 22 years of intense art making. Art is something very positive to me. And I think art is the #1 mission for myself. Graffiti is the catalyst to me learning, and art is the bigger picture, which is how to convey this message to everybody. Art gets a bad rep because it's considered something that's elite and something that only an elite person can understand, when that's not true. Because every single kid in the world picked up a crayon once and had that little spark. And to me, that's what's the most important thing, is that little spark. And I couldn't have been part of that spark without the people before me and without some of the hard lessons that I've learned along that road. So if you have a dream or a wish, you need to do it, and you need to fight for it. And if you lose doing it, at least you tried. And that's important, because if you give up, then why live? Then why move forward? In my experience, graffiti has saved lives straight up, and that's, there's two kids that I meet in the world, and there's the kid that says, "Hi Saber, I'm so happy to meet you. Awesome, great, you know, and take the Facebook photo, you know," and I'm nice and I do it all, and I say, "Okay, yeah," and they go, "Yeah, I'm gonna go bombing tonight," and I go, "Nah, you should go on the computer, you know, you should do graphic design, you should get into school, you know, that's what your path is." And I meet the kid that's like, "What's up, Saber?" And I go, "Okay," I feel it in him, and I go, "You know what, go crush those freeways," because you know what, that's all he has. And the alternative is a lot worse.